Hello everyone. It's a beautiful day today. That's February the 6th, 2023. It's about, I don't know, about 1:35 in the afternoon. And I'm back over here on the back side of my property, and I'm going to finish thinning out some trees that I missed the last time I was up here because I hit a rock with my chainsaw and I was tired anyway, so I just quit. So I'm going to go up in here and I'm going to thin out a little bit of that. But my main target now will be back down in this bottom where I'm going to put a deer stand. I'm going to go way down in there and I'm going to work my way back. I think the plan will be to cut a trail probably starting right there on the other side of that tree and making a trail wide enough, probably 15 feet down, as straight as I can get it, go around the big trees. I want to keep the big trees, and cut me a 15-foot path all the way down to where I want to put my deer stand, and then clean out probably, I don't know, about 120 foot circle from the stand, on each side of the stand. About 240 foot radius on it, and put my stand down there. So I'll get that video when I get down there, but now got my safety gear on and ready to crank up my chainsaw and get after it. So we'll get you caught up later. Well, I got a few more little saplings down up through there. I cut more than I was anticipating, but that's all good. But as the process goes, I got a tree down, a little limb, and I was cutting it up, and underneath those leaves was a rock. So that dulled my blade. Had to sharpen it, refuel before I headed back all the way back down that big hill. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk down through here and kind of indicate where I want to cut this path, trees I want to take down to get around it. So it looks like I'm going to probably, I might take it that way. I'll put my tape, I've got some surveyor tape, and I'm going to put that out on the direction I want to go. I'll get down to the bottom and do the same thing on what I want to cut. So I'll get back to that once I get down to the bottom. Okay, I made it down to the bottom, and so I'm going to start thinning out all this stuff in here. It's probably going to take me a couple of days to do this. Clean this all out, going downhill, and I'll clean some of this up over here. Going back uphill, I'll clean all that up when I bring the excavator down, but it goes back up the hill there. And I'm going to put my tree stand right in here somewhere, right where that orange surveyor tape is, and right there on that one, somewhere in this area. So this is the designated spot that I'm going to put my stand and where I'm going to start thinning. So I'm going to cut this off, and I think I'm going to start over here because that seems to be a little thinner. I'm going to go to the crest of the hill right here where it goes off down in that valley. That's the other second valley I was telling you about, that water comes off the hill, comes down and merges with the other one on the other side of the hill down in that bottom. And that's where I'm going to try to dig me a little hole down there that will capture some of the water when it rains, so I'll have another watering hole. But okay, so hopefully my sharpening my chain up after hitting that rock and refueled, and so I guess I'll cut till the chain gives out or the gas gets out. All right, later. Whew. Well, it is now, what time is it now? Let me see, catch my watch. It's 3:07. So I've been down here, I don't know, a little over an hour. And that's back up the hill. Tape's right there, going back up. Run out of fuel. Luckily, I did not get any rocks. But I'm still going to have to change the blade. It's getting dull. I've cut down quite a bit. And that side over there went pretty easy because it was already pretty thin. It got real thick right here in the middle. And it continues to get thicker as I go over this way. And you can see right there, I don't know how good you tell, but that's a lot of buckbrush all the way down. And so I'm probably going to go down another, I don't know, maybe 50 feet or so, and then out across there. And hopefully that'll be enough. I have decided that I think I'm going to move my deer stand. Instead of having it right there in the middle, I may put it right over here in this vicinity, because I got a big valley down there and they run across the side of that hill and come down and come across this way. So if I decide to put my stand there, I've definitely got to clear out a whole bunch more. So anyway, I ran out of gas. And now I gotta climb that big hill. My four-wheeler, I'd be on my four-wheeler, but as from the last video, it would not crank. And I had it down in the woods, got cold, would not crank. And finally it warmed up in the afternoon. I went over there, it cranked, put it on the trailer, took it home, and then I took it over to the ATV guy and asked him to check the choke and adjust the carburetor. And maybe, I don't know if the timing got off a little bit, I don't know. But anyway, it's over there. They said they're stacked up. Maybe a month or so before I get it back. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll be glad to get it back and have it running. Knowing it'll crank, you know, in all kind of conditions. But a four-wheeler right now would be great climbing that big old hill. So anyway, I gotta climb it and come back down and work a little more, and I'll be done for the day. All right, later. Well, I got a lot done today. It's gonna be pretty tomorrow on Tuesday, so I'm gonna go back down here and see if I can finish up at least some of it and get ready to do something else. But I'm afraid that I put a new chain on and new gas and everything's going good. So but this cycle lasted longer than me, and so now I'm resting so I can climb that hill and go home and get some water. I forgot my Camel, a little water thing I carry on my back, and I need that desperately. I'm so dry. So anyway, I'm going to cut this off and rest a bit and start getting up to the truck, and we'll continue on tomorrow. Okay, this is my watering hole. I know you probably can't see all the leaves that's down in there. Maybe you can. Anyway, it's about halfway full of leaves, so I'm going to get those out of there, and so the water will just be displaced with as I pull the leaves out. So we'll see. Okay, I got, I guess, probably 90% of the leaves out of the watering hole. Got a couple of rocks I put in there to help hold it down till the water filled in and weighed it down. But I'm going to wait till it gets a little warmer before I stick my hand down that coal, then that water, pull those rocks out of there. Anyway, so I'm headed back to the back of the property and continue my clearing. There's my turkey blind. Turkey season's going to be here in a couple of months, a month and a half. Won't see a turkey when it's turkey season. I don't know where the turkey's going. They used to be everywhere down here, but they'll flock in here and then they're gone. I'm going up the hill where I have to turn around, and when I get back here working, I'm going to clear a path probably up through there to make a circle to go around and come back this way, or go that way and come back, because it's a real tight turnaround up here. If I got a trailer, I can't turn around with the trailer up here. I can turn around just my truck, but I want to be able to pull my trailer back here if I need to. So approximately right in here, I'm going to start cutting a path right up through there to make a circle and come back around. Try to keep as many of the big trees as I can. But that's where I've got to walk. It's where I was yesterday. And I got to get this truck turned around and get loaded up to get down there. This is my water camel. It's a backpack, like a backpack that has water in it. And strap it on your back, and you put the nozzle over your shoulder, and you can keep working and drink water. And I did not have that yesterday, and I wished I'd had, because I could have gone a little bit longer if I'd had that, but it wore me out. So I've got it today, got a fresh water in it, and I'm going to be wearing it. So I thought I'd just give you a little snap picture here of what a water camel looks like. Okay, making the trip down. I got chainsaw old and gassed up. Got my safety gear on. A water camel. So I marked these trees. I don't know if I said this in the other video or not, but anyway, I marked this tree where I'm going to cut the path, like a 15-foot path, and it's going to be all to the right of these trees I got marked. So it's not too bad as far as how much I got to take down to get that 15 to 20 foot path that I want. There's a lot of cedar trees right down in here that I'm not cutting, regardless of their size, unless it's right in my pathway, because the deer, the bucks come in here and they rub on the cedar trees, and there's probably a rub on just about every cedar tree right in here. So that buck does like to cross here. I did get a picture of him on January the 6th. He was a really wide 8-pointer. So he's going to be nice next year. So there's a cedar tree right there. Of course, that's an old rub, but he just rubbed every tree just about in here. So I put these ribbons right here and right here to indicate that I want my stand to be somewhere in this vicinity. And I really have cut quite a bit opening this up, but I'm going to open it up more. And trying to decide about which tree to put my stand in. I really do like putting my tree stand in like those 3 trees have grown up right there. You can get a lot of stability from wind and that kind of thing, but those are leaning a little bit more than what I want, and I can put it on this side right here on that outside one. But the problem is the fork. There's a fork way up there, and I would have to get my rope over that. It's still possible. And then just put the base of it right here. See how it kind of leans out? And I'm not particularly fond of that. So my other option is that tree right there, because that fork is up there. I can get a rope over that pretty easy, and get my four-wheeler to pull it up, and it's in a pretty good location. The property line is probably about 100 yards that way, and I can see the flags. So this whole area would be pretty good. I can get up and I can see down in that little valley, and where they can cross in behind me, and I can see pretty good back up the hill as well. So this is probably going to be the tree when I get ready to put my stand up. But, okay, so now I got to cut this camera off and get to cutting. Alrighty, talk later. Well, it's about 10:30 on Tuesday morning, and I am making pretty good progress on clearing, going back up the mountain there. I've cleared a lot in the short time I've been here, and it's beginning to take the shape that I want. Still gonna do a little bit more. I ran out of gas and oil, so I got to go up and sharpen, but I have gone down there, but I'm gonna continue on and go down probably another 50 feet or so back toward that bottom, and then I'll be through, I think, until I can get in here and get it all picked up and cleaned up, opened up. I will get that deer stand that's in the bottom and bring it up here and set it up. I think that was that tree I was thinking about. It does have a little tendency to lean that way. I don't like putting it uphill because, well, I guess it's just as easy to look back downhill as it is uphill. Anyway, so I may put it on this side of the uphill and let it lean against the tree there. And but we'll see. My four-wheeler is in the shop, as like I said, and I'm going to get my son's four-wheeler Saturday. And then next week, if the weather's not too bad, I'll get that stand down and try to get it up. Get up here and get a visual of how much more I need to cut, which direction I need to cut. And that way I'll be ready to get it all cleaned up in one big swoop. Alrighty, so got to get back up the hill and get my chainsaw ready to go again. Well, I just ran out of gas and my chain is still good, so I think I made pretty good progress today. I cleared out a lot all the way. I'm way back up the hill now, close to the truck. I cleaned out what I wanted to clean out at the bottom, and I just started working my way back up the hill toward the truck. And got a lot of stuff cleaned up, at least cut down on the ground. And so I don't know, I might come back tomorrow, depends on what the weather does, and cut just a little more, maybe clear this path a little bit better coming down. It's pretty open, and that's why I selected this part to come down, so I don't have to pull up as many trees. There's a lot of trees in here that have been competing because it's so thick for the resources, and they're actually dead, and they're just everywhere. So I would say probably 20% of the stuff that I've got on the ground was dead. And here's another interesting reality about having these trees removed, is that a long time ago, the Ames Plantation over in West Tennessee used to have a field day, and they had it on, I believe, on a Thursday at some month, and I would take off work because I was interested in what they would be doing. Sometimes they would talk about raising cotton, sometimes they would talk about beans, sometimes they're talking about cows and raising pigs and all various agriculture things. They had a quail habitat there, and they did a lot of study for quail and just try to understand why the coveys were dying out. And so I helped sponsor some of that study. And but one of the things they did on the weekend, on the Thursday, was they had a forestry. And so we went into a little strip of woods, and the guy from the University of Tennessee Extension Department was there, and we were looking at the trees and why it was important to keep these type of little trees and stuff thinned out. So we actually pulled a core out of like a 12-15 inch tree, and then right next to it was like a 4 to 6 inch tree, and we pulled the core out of it, and we counted the rings, and they were exactly the same age in rings. So he was emphasizing the fact that you do need to thin these out so that the other trees can get, you know, the resources they need to grow. And so that's one advantage of cleaning out a lot of this junk stuff. There's a tree right there that is dead, and I decided to keep it up, and I'll pull that down. I've got a big tree somewhere. It must be back down the hill. That's probably 25 or 30 feet tall. That's dead. And I decided not to bother that tree because it's probably has raccoons or bats or stuff like that in it, making their home in the top of it. It's just broke off at the top, and the rest of it's dead. But so I'm going to leave it so that the bats and the raccoons will have a place to stay. I was cleaning back over at that other one back when it was real cold, and I was cutting a tree down, and man, a big old bat came out of one of the trees that I had cut. It wasn't that big around, but it was big enough for the bat to have a house in it, and I didn't realize it until he's taken off, and he was huge. He was a lot, twice as big as normal bats I see, but he was really brown as well. But anyway, so there is a method to the madness about cleaning this out. There's a bunch of dead stuff right in there too, but I'll clean all that up later on as I come down through here and pick up the tops that I've cut, and I'll pile it over to one of these sides over here out of the way. And but anyway, I'm done for right now, and so I'm gonna get my saw, and luckily I'm not too far from the truck, and I have my water cabinet, and I have used it. Boy, that thing is a lifesaver for me. Anyway, so I'm gonna cut this off and get you caught up on the next round.